Okay, so just tell us the name of your book and what it's about.
Where am I looking?
You're looking at her, and her voice won't be on camera, so just repeat the question and the answer.
Okay, so how is this for online?
Mm-hmm.
And then is it going to be introed a certain way? Or?
Yeah, we'll do all the intros and stuff. It'll be completely edited. We'll do intros and outros at the end. It'll just be you. We'll cut to stills and stuff like that of your book. But yeah.
Cool.
So just tell us the name of your book and what is it about.
So the name of my book is Nowhere But Up, and it's the story of my life, and it chronicles from, since I was a baby up until teenage years and beyond. And it talks about some really difficult things that I had to endure. I went through some abuse and some abandonment issues, and got into drugs and alcohol as a teenager, and suffered with a lot of depression and anxiety. Ultimately ended up in the hospital for trying to commit suicide. And so I talk a little bit about my journey and what it was like going through that. But, it's not so much a woe is me story. It's more of a story of I was there and I'm not today, and this is how I made it through, and this is the healing process and my healing journey.
So what influenced you to finally write this book? Because it's, you know the story, but what got you to share it with the public?
I've always felt like I have a story to tell. And I know when people would share their stories with me and say, I've been there, and I know what that's like, and you don't have to stay there, and it gets better, that would give me hope. And so I've been sharing my story since before Justin started his career, and I would travel and I would talk about my story, and now that when Justin turned 18, I wanted to put it down on paper, and I wanted to share with some people.
Cool. What's like some advice that you could give to teenagers in general, and then also teenagers that are going through a tough time, that are going through similar moments like you did?
Yeah. So, because of Justin's platform, I have over 2 million Twitter followers that call me mom, and I get to they ask me all kinds of questions. And since I couldn't talk to them all at once, I wanted to make a teen version of this book. And so in it, there's some pop-out statistics and resources. There's also some discussion questions while I'm sharing my story and telling my story. So I really wanted to, give them the message that there's hope through the situation, whatever they're going through.
What are a couple of questions that you've got?
Oh, they range anywhere from, I'm fighting with my mom, I don't know what to say, to I'm feeling really depressed and suicidal and I don't know what to do. And so there's such a range, and I can relate. I can relate to all that. And so that's really why I wanted to write my story and help people to know that they can relate to my story and say, well, if she can make it through, then so can I. And it's hard for me to I don't have time to be able to talk to each and every one of them, but some of them come up to me and share their stories with me when I'm doing book signings, and they have the most amazing stories. Some of them show me their arms of the scars where they used to cut, and they say, I used to cut, but I don't now because of you and because of your story. And moms that are crying and they're saying, my daughter read your book and it changed her life. Thank you so much for the hope that you've instilled into our family. And that's the reason why I'm up here doing these, interviews, and why I'm wanting to get out this message, is because I want to make a difference in their lives.
What is well, you kind of talked about it. I was going to ask how you feel about other kids calling you their second mom. What was it like when you first started hearing that?
I remember the first time someone tweeted me and they said, can I call you mom? And I said, sure, you can all call me mom, but you can't date your brother. And so that just sort of started a trend, and they were all calling me mom, and I love it. I just have such a heart for teenagers, and I can really relate, and so much of the stuff that I went through was when I was a teenager, and I really, my heart goes out to them, and it breaks every time I hear their stories, but it's also encouraging to know that my story in some sort of way can help them get through.
What is most rewarding about being a mom for you?
Just knowing that you've given someone life is just amazing, and then being able to put in your values and watch them grow, and just see them make you proud, and when they come back to you and they say how much they love you, and I don't know, there's just so many amazing things about being a mom. And I don't know, now that my son's all grown, I'm like, I think I want more kids.
Do you want to talk about each of them that you have?
I just have Justin.
As I heard, he has a brother and a sister.
Yeah, his dad has 2 kids.
Okay. Awkward moment.
That's okay.
Sorry.
I love those kids. Whenever I see them, I take them out, we go get their nails did, and take them out for ice cream. I love those kids.
That's good.
They're amazing.
Do you want to talk about, like, what the experience has been like with Justin, knowing that, your child has done all of this, and you're like what? Like, how is this happening? Do you want to talk about that and how you went through it? Just knowing, like, how big he's gotten and how it's been for you as a mom, and, like, dealing with it, and what are you feeling?
Yeah. So we went from, I lived in a pregnancy home when I was pregnant with him, to living in geared to income housing with, living on social assistance, going to food banks, working 2 and 3 jobs to put food on the table, to this whirlwind of having this amazing platform to be able, for me, it's awesome because I get to be able to use it to do good and make a difference. So it's been, an awesome whirlwind and an awesome adventure.
And is there just a motivational quote that you live by? Some people, like, have a motto for themselves. And is there anything that you kind of use?
Something that I say a lot is, those that are the hardest to love need it the most. And so sometimes that even applies to ourselves, and that's one of the things that I want to encourage other people, is to just love yourself enough to forgive yourself, to, not put up with being treated terribly, and I think it just applies in so many areas.
I think Garrett has a couple questions for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can still look at me, by the way.
Yeah. What would you say is kind of the most popular, maybe not popular, but the most common problem or issue that you're seeing with these people?
Right now, there's so many teenagers that struggle with broken homes, which leaves them feeling rejected and sometimes puts them in depression, and they go through bullying. I mean, there's just so many things. But the biggest thing that I see in my signings is girls coming up to me that have felt so hopeless that they're cutting, and that they're trying to escape their pain. And so it's really awesome that I can in some way use my pain to say I've been there and I know what it's like, and I'm so sorry you're going through that, but it will get better. And just being able to instill that hope and say, if I can get through it, anyone can. Yeah.
What would you say your kind of ultimate goal is?
The ultimate goal in doing what I'm doing and traveling all over and sharing my story and writing this book is to spread a message of hope. I think there's so many people out there, and now with this teen edition, especially teenagers, that are just filled with so much hopelessness, and it's such a fatherless generation, and it's just really good to know that I'm making a difference somehow, and just hearing the responses has been really overwhelming. It's been amazing.
And then with Justin, I mean, obviously he's extremely popular. Everybody knows Justin.
Justin.
How much of a normal person is Justin? I mean, I think people have a tendency to just really put celebrities,
Yeah.
just raise them up.
I mean, we always joke and say the same thing, Justin puts his pants on one leg at a time, just like everyone else. He's normal as normal can be to me. I changed his diapers, I'm his mom. I don't look at him like a superstar. He's my child, and he'll always be my child, even, as he gets older. So I don't know. He's completely normal to me.
Right, and I think that's kind of interesting that even for like the president or whatever, he has a mother.
Yeah.
As powerful and as famous as people get, they still come home and they still see mom, and they still ask for your advice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What is that? I guess kind of now in the more recent years, since he has become an adult, how is it being? I guess you kind of answered. He's still just your son to you.
Yeah.
He's not,
Yeah.
he's not Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I don't look at him as a pop star.
So maybe just kind of talk about that. Just how he's still, regardless of however big or however much celebrity he gets,
Yeah.
he's still just your son. And
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter how the world is seeing him. He's always going to be my son. He's Justin, and I mean, sometimes I see people and their reactions, and they're screaming girls, and I'm thinking it's just Justin, So it's hard for me to see him as this pop star. But I understand it, and I get it, and I see that he's worked really hard. But he's always going to be just Justin to me. Yeah.
perfect. We'll do a few liners.
Okay.
These will be to camera. You can just say your name and you're watching Fan Lala. So kind of hey guys.
How do you say it?
Fan Lala.
Fan Lala.
Fanlala. Fan Lala.
Fan Lala.
Just sing it.
Yeah.
Fan Lala.
We've had people sing it before.
Can
so.
I interrupt and throw something in real quick? I don't know if it might be good for people who see this to know, like, just a little bit more even about your foundation that you started. Would you guys care if
Oh,
you
yeah.
just talked about that real quick? Because
Yeah, go for it.
through this book, there's a lot of like resources and 800 numbers and places where people can get help. Not that we want to make this all like heavy, but it just dawned on me. I thought maybe a lot of the like demographic that's like tuning into this
Sure, yeah.
would like to know about our foundation to help kids do whatever.
Yeah, because our demo, they're the girls that are going to your book signing and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, if you don't care, sorry, I don't mean to
No,
just
no.
like
No, absolutely. The
interfere.
more stuff we can get, the better.
Yeah, so a lot of the proceeds from the original book and the teen version are going to Round 2 Foundation that we just started. And the idea is of Round 2, when you get knocked down in Round 1 of life, then there's Round 2. And so we want to help in all kinds of ways, partner with different organizations and campaigns to make a difference in things that kind of can knock you down. Things like helping people with counseling that can't afford it, helping with teen pregnancy shelters, helping with addictions. And a lot of the things that I struggled with that I talk about in my story are the same things that I kind of want to partner with and help other people that struggle with those things. Yeah.
Perfect. Is there anything else you want to touch
Do we
on?
want to talk about kind of covered that, stories and
Yeah, I think you talked a lot about the girls and the issues and stuff in there. And yeah, because I mean the book has so much like help for people. It's just good to.
And it's a lot of your stories, your
Yeah.
experiences,
Yeah.
how you dealt with a lot of this
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, so the book really deals with, my experience and how I handled situations, how I made it through some really difficult situations. And I think with all the issues that I deal with, I think somebody can relate to at least something in there. And, people are coming up to me saying, I can so relate to this, or I was a single mom and, it was really inspiring and your story hit home in this area and this area. So I think people would be surprised at how much I can really relate to some of their stories.
Why don't we also talk about the fact that you, from your accounts, you didn't really have an easy life, to put it lightly. Yet you still fostered, and nurtured, this talent.
Yeah.
That kind of shone through.
Sure.
I mean, you can talk about that. Just kind of how that went.
Yeah, you know, growing up we didn't have a whole lot, but somehow I always found ways to have instruments in the house, whether it was yard sales or gifts, and we would have music in the house all the time. And I would sing and write music and have people over jamming, and Justin would come in and join in and play the djembe, and he was really involved in hockey and soccer. He actually wanted to be a professional hockey player. And you know, I didn't have much, but I would have given everything I had to just encourage him and make sure that he's following his dreams and doing whatever it is that he wanted to do, and really encouraging that in him.
We talked to a lot of people, you know, that have obviously, you know, made it in whatever their career is, they're acting or singing or whatever. And you know, most of the time they always say it's because their parents. You know, their parents are what, you know, the main reason why they're here. When did you kind of realize that Justin had something more than just he wanted to sing? Because my little brother wanted to sing, but he couldn't sing to save his life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When did it kind of click for you?
I think Justin's always been really musical. He's been playing drums since he was 2, and you know, singing and dancing around the house. I think all parents are biased, though. You know, like, my kid is the greatest talent, and so I never really thought anything grand scale. I just knew he was talented, and he would always want to show everybody what he could do. So, look at this, watch me. So it was really fun just to be able to see him in the house, and I don't know, we just wanted to encourage that, but I had no idea at the scale that he'd be doing it at.
Cool. Yeah, I think we'll just get those liners. So just your name, and you're watching Fan Lala.
Okay. Hi, my name is Pattie Mallette, and you're watching Fan Lala.
Cool. And then just for an outro, thanks guys, be sure to check out my book. Yeah, thanks guys, be sure to check out my book. You can get the title, I'm assuming it's at all bookstores, you know, everywhere. Yeah, Amazon.
Should I point to it on my website, maybe? PattieMallette.com.
Yeah, and you can say, like, if you want to keep up with me, you can check me out at
Yeah.
PattieMallette.com.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
So just a thanks guys. Thanks guys, be sure to check out my book.
Okay.
And if you want to keep up with me.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Be sure to check out my book, Nowhere But Up. You can get it online on PattieMallette.com is one of the places, and you can also keep up with me on there and see where I'm doing signings and what's going on, what's new. And thank you so much.
Cool.
Cool.
That's it.
There we go.
Unless you guys want to talk about anything more?
we're like, oh, what about? No.
No,
I think
it's good.
covered a lot. I think that's
That was a lot of
Yeah,
good
yeah.